Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with episode 7 in our journal page spread, our page ideas series. That's where we're doing a full ephemera creation on a signature page. So I've got my supplies. I'm going to talk about these first. I forgot to grab my Fabri-Tac and my Barely Arts glue. They are my favorite. I've got my corner rounder eyelet setter. I've got my ink, pencil, ruler, dauber. I'm trying this rounded dome one. It seems to be working a little bit better. I go through those other ones like every couple of days. I'm replacing it, so it's crazy. So anyway, let's get that stuff out of the way so we can talk about the project. So this is what we're making today. So it is a full page spread. On this side we have triple pockets. So we've got some ephemera, but we've made triple pockets on this blank side, which I love this idea. So it is also a seamless page. I've done a seamless page before. Not in the page idea series, but in another video. But the idea is that when you look at it, it doesn't look like the image is broken. So see how when I press that down, it's very difficult to see that that is cut. So we've got a cut here, which is making a pocket, okay? And then what I've done is I've used a piece of legal size paper. I happen to have 65-pound legal size paper. I don't care for the lighter weights. So you can totally do this with a standard piece of paper. Let me grab that, that other template here really quick. It's right here. So I believe this one I did with just a standard piece. No, this was also legal size, wasn't it? No, that was also legal size. Let's see, was it? It had to have been, yeah, so it's legal size. You could do this on a piece of standard copy paper. You would just have different dimensions and it wouldn't have as big of an ability to extend out. So that's why I chose the legal size paper. So again, it's seamless here. You can tuck stuff in here, but then this acts as a fold in right here. Okay. And then it's writing space. Okay. So you've just got writing space on these two panels, but I absolutely love it. I was sitting, thinking about the seamless page idea that I've done in the past, and I thought, how could I make that even better? And so this is what I did. So when this folds up, and I put a tab on here so that you can pull it, and when it all folds up, this is what's going to be sewn into the signature. So it's going to be sewn in here, and then you've got this beautiful flip out. Okay. So that's what we're going to work on today. This is my template as promised. I wanted to bring this to you each time I do a project that I feel it is needed. So if you want to take a picture of that, you can. Again, this is legal size paper. Okay. So it is 8.5 by 14. Now mine is 65-pound paper. You could do this on a lighter paper. I just can't. I don't really recommend it just because I don't ever work with lighter paper. I'm kind of spoiled that way. So that first section where we saw the cut to create the seamless paper. So this is the inserted part. This is not the actual journal page, which is an important thing to note here. So I'll need to grab a piece of paper as well. But this distance is 2 5/8 by 8 1/4 or 8.5, which is the height. This is 2 5/8 by 8.5. So you've taken that 5 1/4 basically, and you've cut it in half. Okay. And then this is a fold line, and this is a fold line, 4 1/4 by 8.5, 4 1/4. Oh, that should be 4. Oh, that one is a little bit longer, 4 1/2. Let me make sure that was not a typo. Yes. So it is a little bit longer in this, this piece. So we cut here, we score here, we score here, and then we accordion fold these two lines. And then we're going to glue this one on the page on 3 sides, this one on the page on 3 sides, and that's created our little tuck spot there. So I need to reach and grab a journal page because I was not prepared. Let me see if I've got one that's on regular paper. I know I've got some over here on on the big paper, but I don't, oh, there's one, yay! So this is a standard piece of paper. So basically what you would do is you would take this piece of paper and fold it in half. You guys have seen me do this before. So we're going to fold this in half like so. We're only going to make one on camera today, guys. Hopefully keep this nice and simple. So I do have to cut this down so that it is 5 1/4 inches wide. It should be 8 1/4 inches tall. So, and that's another thing. These measurements, again, are going to be, well, these measurements are right because I measured my pieces on my prototype to make this template. So, again, as always, you guys may have to play around a little bit. Get just a piece of white paper and play around before you waste any printed paper would be my recommendation. I know that that can be very precious and you don't want to waste it. So I'm going to take this really quick and I'm going to turn to my trimmer and just make sure it's cut to 5 1/4 inches wide, which is always a little bit long, a little bit wider. It's like 5 3/8 because I have to cut the white off of my pages. Okay, so there we go. And what did I say? It should be 8 1/4. Yes, it is 8 1/4 inches tall. I'm going to move my mouse so that I do not stop my video. Okay, so these are the elements. These are a bunch of things I got. Cards, I may not be able to fully, fill it up. I don't know if I got enough, but we're going to give it a go. I'm going to set that over there. So these are the sheets that we're going to be using. So this is going to be our actual piece that's going to be glued in. I printed a second one so I can do the triple pockets for you as well. So I didn't cut the borders off because I wanted to show you this first because I can't cut the top and the bottom borders off until I cut this because it's too long for my trimmer. So I can cut the edges here off. So I'm going to do that really quick and I'll be back in a jiff. Okay, I did do a couple extra steps on the second page because I was able to, I know how wide it is. So the pockets are all 5 1/4, and then we'll talk about the how big we want each of the pockets to be. So that we're going to set aside as well. We don't need that quite yet. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to move some of this stuff out of my way because I'm feeling very, very claustrophobic at the moment. Boom. It is after work, so it's always a risk for me. So this is our journal page. I'm going to stick that right there as well. That mouse is going to get touched. I guarantee it. So I'm just going to put it up there. So I'm going to bring over my score tool here and my cutter because we can use it as a cutter for things that don't have to be so precise. So our first cut is going to be, we're going to work from the left side to right. So we want to cut, we're going to measure this out to 2 5/8 and cut that right there. So I'm going to have to use my ruler for that first because I can't read it on the cutter. I can't read it on the cutter. So we're just going to do it together here, the poor man's way. So that was 2 5/8. Okay. I'm just going to make a mark there and we're going to go ahead and trim that off. I'm hoping this is right. It seems like 2 5/8. Half of 5 1/4 would be 2 5/8, I'm guessing. I'm so second guessing myself though. Let me grab this again. Yikesies. This is not cool, Cara-Renee. But better to check your work, okay, than make a mistake. So let's just make sure that we are right. Yes, it is 2 5/8. So we were correct. Pardon me for that. I'm not feeling as sharp as I could be. Just, it's, the end of a work day, But I've got some things going on the weekend, so I'll be working ahead this work week to get some things on the channel. My husband has invited me to go crabbing with him and our youngest daughter. So our next measurement is going to be 2 5/8. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back up here again, and I'm going to make a pencil mark for my score line, which that's really not beneficial, Cara-Renee. Let's just do this the right way. So 2 5/8 again. Okay. And then I'm going to score that. So I'm just using the score feature on this little cutter, making sure. I always have to tell myself, don't cut, Renee. Cara-Renee, just score, no cut. Okay, so that is that line. And then we're going to measure again. We're going to measure 4 1/4 from that score line. So I feel like I want to give that just a little bit of ink just so you guys can see. Sorry for the clinging and clanging. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink there. There we go. Okay. So that is that line. And then we're going to go 4 1/4 from that score line. So, boy, this is a pain in my patootie today. Goodness gracious. Okay. Don't have a lot of room on the desk. So 4 1/4. So I'm going to go 4 1/4 from that score line. I'll move up a little bit here. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to fold that just in case I got that brown a little bit further over. So I just folded that. So I'm actually 100% accurate here. Okay, so we're going to go 4 1/4. So I'm going to make a line up here on the white part of that bit. Okay, and we're going to score that. And you do want to pick an image that looks like broken up. It's going to look okay. But you can figure that out. Just do what suits you. So now I can cut this because it is it's not too tall, but this cutter is not doing so great. So I'm going to go ahead and use my big one. So let me do that real quick. We will repeat that here in a second. We'll talk about those folds one more time. So I'm going to fold that one. Okay. So we got a bunch of white there. What the what? That's just my printer. So let me ink that up so you can see. It's going to be hard to see just because of the dark print there, but maybe it'll come through. I'm not sure. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So there is that. So now, what are we doing? Now, what are we doing? So this is going to go like this. So I folded that one wrong. So it's going to go like so. So on our page, this is going to be here. I need to cut that white off. That's going to go there and there. This is not the greatest part of this image for a seamless piece because there's not a lot of definition to the image, but it's going to be fine. It still looks like one piece of paper. So I'm going to trim this off here really quick. I should be able to just use my scissors. Hopefully this is not a mistake. I'm all for the risk today. It was such a slow day. We had 2 students out sick. One of my students, precious boy. So it always makes the day really weird. Okay, so there we go. So before we start doing anything else, I want to talk to you about inking. So I'm going to ink all around the outside edges and on the other side, but I am not going to ink these edges because I want it to remain seamless. So I'm going to take a moment and do that. Again, I'm going to do it front and back. I'm even going to ink those other folds on the inside. So give me a moment. So I did take the liberty to go ahead and cut off that little bit of white that we had. It doesn't really affect any of the measurements per se, so I did forget the center folds here on this side. And then we'll look at this one more time and bring our journal page over. So that is that. This is this, and that is that. I am Ariel the mermaid. Oh, every time I say that, I think of that. So, so I did it on this page because I felt like when this is in your journal, this is here, and then that's extended out. But I'm wondering what would happen if we did it here. So let's just play with this a second and see what we think. So that would go like that, and then, oh, that would probably be better. wouldn't it? Because it would bridge over. And then only a bit of it's going to hang over the side. I think we'll do that this time. So I am going to ink around this really quick as well. Now at this point you could round your corners, you could do decorative corners, you could do all kinds of things if you chose, but I'm not going to do that on this this one on camera. Did I on the other one? I did not. I left everything square on that one too. I'll probably make another one for, I don't know. Yeah, probably won't make another one because I have no journals that I can make ephemera for. I have to start putting these journals together. I have no more room. I have no more need for ephemera. So let's see where we're at here. Was that right? Yes. So again, we did not ink this inside edge because we want it to be seamless. So I'm going to turn this over. We're going to ink on the 3 edges as per my template. So that's this at these 3 edges here. I'm hoping that that template is helpful. I know it would be if I was watching this myself. So I'm hoping that it's helpful. I'd love your feedback. And on that note, if you're liking this content, if you're liking what you're seeing on the channel and you like the energy, I would love it if you would like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time I put a video up. I do videos 3 times a week, generally Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's just put that. We're going to go all the way to the edge. I am watching top to bottom. I can always trim that journal page if I get a little bit wonky, but it looks to be exactly right. Okay, so that goes on there. And this paper is 65 and this is. So it's making a very stable bit of ephemera. This would also make an adorable like a happy mail. This would be an amazing happy mail because if you think about this just as its own piece, it would be really cool because it would just fold up like this and then you'd have all that writing space on the back, which would be really cool. So there we go. So now we're going to bring this over and we're going to glue this on 3 sides here, similar to my template. So we are here doing those 3 sides. So I am going to ink up the center fold just so that you guys can see it a little bit easier on camera. Like so. Okay, now this is going to be tricky because I'm working on this side of the paper. I put it on this side before, but I think we can do it together. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put glue on the ends. Not too worried about glue lines because we've got plenty of space. This is going to be a pretty large pocket, which you know me, I love large pockets. Large writing spaces, I like everything large. So no jokes about a large body, okay? I do not like that so much. Okay, so now we are just pressing that down. And it looks like we're a little bit off, so let me see if I can fudge that just a smidge. Okay, like that. And this would be beautiful stitched around. I might do that off camera. If I decide to, you'll be able to see that in the photos, but it would be really cool to have some stitching around. You could do stitching across here, down here, across here, and there, and then you could do this separately. And you could also even do stitching there. I'm not sure what I'll do, but I'll think about that. Okay, so there is our seamless center. Okay, and then this folds like that. Boom. Golden. And we got a little bit of an interesting overlap there. I don't think I noticed that before, but it's not a problem. I love that image so much. So that means now our pockets need to go over here. So I am going to... I'm going to just paper clip this just kind of so it stays out of our way for a moment while we work. And what I'm going to do with these pockets, I might make them a little bit narrower, maybe 5 inches or so that I can so I have the freedom to stitch around. Well, I guess I don't need to because I could stitch right down the side of the pockets. I'm liking this idea a lot. Okay, so this is our pocket piece. So it is the same as as the inside of this one, if you guys saw that. Okay, so this looks a little bit too wide. What's going on here? Uh-oh. That's what the problem is. So see how we're a little bit over? So we're going to have to fix that. That is not going to work. And I didn't bump into that before because I was over the page. So what are we going to do? We have to move this over somehow. Or let's see, what is our other option? Our other option is just to move our center line. Let's just do that. So we're going to be a little bit narrower on this side. I always make a faux pas every time I do a video. It works out perfectly in my prototype and then it bombs on the video. But that is not a problem. That's about 1/8 of an inch. Nobody's even going to notice, right? And so what we've done there is we've created enough room there for that to fold. So that works great. Now, yeah, but it's not that way. So we're going to have to just be mindful of where that line is now. So I can't really see it here because we've got that there. So interesting. That created quite a problem. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just trying to think about if I need to go narrower on this. I think I'm going to slice off a little bit, maybe about 1/8 of an inch on this side here, and I'll be right back. Where there's a will, there's a way. You know what I say. We can kind of play around. I just want to make sure we have plenty of room here. Okay, so I'm going to set that on there, and then I'm going to pin it. Let's go ahead and just clip it so we can see that it's going to fold okay before we start doing a bunch of gluing. Okay. Yeah. Well, and that's actually not going to fold. This is the signature line, which that could be a problem as well. It's going to go right into that. Ugh. Didn't think of that. Okay, not a big deal. So now we're going to cut our pocket. So this is how tall? It should be 8 1/4. It is 8 1/4. So let's do a little bit of mathy poo. I'm just going to grab my phone here, get my calculator, see if I can figure this out. See if we can, I don't think we can get an even number. I'm sure I can't. 8.25 divided by 3. Oh yeah. So 2.75. So each pocket would be 2.75 inches. Brilliant. So let's do that together. So I'm just going to put this here, and we're going to make a line at 2, which is 2 3/4, right? Yes, 2 3/4. I know some stuff. I do know some stuff. I should. I'm an educator. 2 3/4, although I am not a teacher, so it's not the same thing. There we go. That will work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the little trimmer. I think we'll be fine on this. It just doesn't like that really narrow edge when I try to trim stuff up to be a little bit more precise. It does not work. The precision trimmer though is a dream. There we go. There are our 3 pockets. Woohoo! And again, we're not putting notches or anything in these because we don't want it to look like pockets. We want it to be seamless, okay? So there we go. We're going to go ahead and put those on. So I am going to ink around the outside edges, not the inside. So here, 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 here. So give me a moment to do that. And I just inked that. Just inked that. Okay, well, we're inking them now. I meant the top one, but that's the top, so it doesn't really matter. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trim that off because I don't want that to be I want that to be seamless. So let me just trim a sliver off of that and try again. Nobody's going to measure that. Okay. So don't ink the bottom. Okay. Well, don't ink the bottom or the top because they're both part of the seam. So this middle one, we only want to ink the sides. I know I'm making this very complicated. And then this one, we can ink the bottom and the sides. Hoping that's making a modicum of sense. Yes. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and glue these on. So I'm going to make sure that we are all good and golden here. So we have the full height here that we're working with. So I can just butt them right up to each other. So what I did on my prototype is I did glue the bottom, but I did not glue this one at the bottom. So I made that a really tall pocket, and then this one's a super tall pocket. So the bottom is the only one on this one that's going to be glued. Of course, you could make them shallower. It's totally up to you. Make sure we have that going the right way. So again, this, both sides, and the bottom. I think I'll stitch around this, but I'll let you guys see that in the photos at the end. I didn't get the sewing machine ready, so it's always a difficult thing to do. I've got to unbury some stuff, and so I'm putting that right down to the bottom, and I'm going all the way to the edge so that we have that little bit of wiggle room on that, the inside edge. So there we go. Okay, and we're going to just put glue on the two sides of this piece. Boom. And we're going to put it right, we're sandwiching it right up there. We don't want to overlap it, but we want it to look seamless. That's the whole point. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And here, again, only on the sides so that we have a very tall pocket. Boom. Okay. Pop that one in there as well. Again, butt it up there as precisely as you can for that seamless effect. Okay. Got a little bit of extra there at the top, but it's better than at the bottom. So I've got a little bit of weirdness there. But that is it. So then this folds. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Just like it is, it's so beautiful. Love it. Okay, so let's look at our ephemera. So we've got, I don't have very much here that I pulled out. I forgot how big all this is. I mean, yeah, I've got some. I just don't have enough. So I will have to make a card to go in here. Or maybe I do have something that can go in there. I thought this one would be really pretty in there because it's going to bring the green from over here. I think it's just a little bit too tall. So I'm going to just take a smidge off the top. By a smidge, I mean about 1/4 inch. But I'm not measuring. And it looks like we probably need to take a little bit off of an edge. So I'm going to take it off of this edge since the stockings are this way. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to take about 1/4 inch. I'm not measuring. Okay, there we go. So that will go in there. Oh my gosh. You guys, this just makes me so happy. So happy. You got to be careful when you've just glued that though, because it's probably, oh, you know what? We're going to be losing landscape with our stitching. So, oh, we should be good though, because look at the room I have. And if I have to cut the cards down, I will. So I'm not going to be putting on camera any of the whale tail tab punches on there, tabs on, because if I end up having to trim something, I don't want to get those off-centered. So you'll be able to see all that in the photos at the end, but we'll stick it in there for now so you can see what that looks like. Okay. And then this again folds up. We'll put a pull on here. Actually, we can't put a pull on the edge because unless we trim some of this off, which we could. We could take a sliver off of this and then we would have room for a whale tail punch. Let's see what we have here. Just to, oh, that one would be perfect. So let's just play with this and see how much I would need to take off. because I like to have it stick out considerably. So that's usually how much I have it out. So I would have to take off a good 1/4 of an inch more, and I'm not sure that I want to do that. So I'm going to have to think on that. I hope you guys don't mind, but we will put, you could also put one up here, which might be what we'll do, is we'll just put one at the top. Usually I try not to put tabs at the bottom, because if somebody wants to stand a journal up, it makes it difficult, but I'll probably put one at the top. Let's just do that. So that's that. Again, that's our beautiful writing space. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so, and so these are the cards that are all to go in here. Now, they've not been cut down, so this is driving me bonkers, having this popping up. So let me just secure this really quick. It's just popping around in my way. Okay. So we've got some little cards, and this is a kit I don't think I've shared with you yet. Really, really beautiful. So these are going to go in here in the bottom pocket. So boom. Oh, so beautiful. Put the Christmas tree showing. There we go. And then these ones I thought would be good for the middle pocket, because you don't want them to be too tall. So that, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I did this. I didn't do that other one as seamless. Let me show you. This is not seamless. Oh, it is. I just made the pockets smaller. So I cut them smaller. So I had room at the top. Bummer deal. I might have to well, I can't now. It's already done. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. Bummer. So this one's clear up here, which is not a problem. It's going to go right up to the top. So only a whale tail punch is going to show when I'm done, but that is okay. So let's just stick that in there and that in there. And I might have to trim that down a little bit. These are 2/2 of a whole, like that. Is that beautiful image? Love it. I might make one of them a little bit smaller, but those will go in this pocket. Okay. And the last thing that we're going to do together is we're going to cut these cards down to put, I think, to put one up here, and then maybe we'll put another one here. I really liked this lined paper. I thought that would be fun to slide in there, but I do obviously need to trim it down. So let's see, like about so. So I'm just going to do this by hand, you know. You only live once, right? Just do it. Just do it. Take the plunge. Take the risk. It's just a piece of paper. It's a little off there. That's okay. It's a lot off, Cara-Renee. Boom, boom. I don't worry about it, you guys. Nobody's going to be measuring my work. And if they are, then that might be a personal problem for them. I used to be the measurer of my work, and I just don't worry about it anymore. There we go. So I thought this would be fun to go in behind this card as an extra writing space. So that one would go in there. Okay. And I might cut that down a little bit more, and then this one would go behind it as an extra. And it's not too bulky. I'm going to show you the profile here in a second. Why is that sticking out more? Why is it sticking out more? I don't know. I'm going to cut them both down, but those will stick there. Okay. And then the last thing is to cut one of these down to go here. And I'm really loving this image. I just love the deep, rich colors here. So that needs to be trimmed as well to, let's just say it needs to be, let's just say 4.5 by 8.25. So let me trim that really quick. So I didn't go quite that wide, but I think we might be able to get away with that. Maybe not, if I do stitching. Because I always do like zigzag, I could do both, so I think that needs to be trimmed just a smidge more. My apologies. It looked really narrow, but I think it needs to be. So then this will stick in the top pocket. Didn't even realize my own error. So these can be hard to get in there because it's a full-length page trying to go into a pocket. So you want to make sure you have plenty of wiggle room there. So I'm just going to put it to there just for the sake of the video, but I'll put a whale tail punch on there. And I might put another card in here. I might switch this and put one of each. I don't know. But that is basically it for today, guys. This was our video, but this is the profile of the entire page. So this is at the fold side, and then this is at the open side. So it is not thick. Look at that. It's really, it's like a journal page. Now, depending on how you create, I tend to create a really bulky journal, and when I do my spine, I allow for a lot of the bulk that I create in my ephemera that I create before I put the journal together. So you guys can evaluate that and decide, you know, how thick you want, how much you want to put in something. But I allow for that in the size of my spine. So I allow 1 inch spine for every signature. So if I have a 3 signature journal, it's going to be a 3-inch spine. Just no questions about it. It just always is. I fudge it a little bit if I'm doing like a soft cover journal and it's got a soft spine. It might be, you have a little bit more wiggle room because your journal can kind of bend and flex a little bit more with a soft spine and a soft cover. So, but that is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to the new subscribers and all of you old friends. I really, really appreciate you, and I hope that you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.